Guys, it's me, Envy Chan, and today we'll be talking about a well-known person in the trans community by the name of Calvin Garrett and why I no longer stan or support him. Yeah, I used to be a Calvin Garrett stan like 4 or less months ago, and I was a fan of Calvin Garrett for a long ass time, even before his Brennan transgender video thingy came out. And at the time, I literally agreed with almost everything he said. And I was transmed to the core. I'm still transmed and agree with some things Calvin has said, but I'm more open-minded and respectful to others. I never really disrespected anybody to their face, but in my head I was like, ew, you're gender fluid, or ew, you're non-binary, that's disgusting. There's only 2 genders, deal with it. And that's really cocky. I used to watch SJW cringe comps to giggle at their stupidity, to ignore my own insecurities. Of course, like a dumbass, I'm non-binary. So yeah, let's get into the reasons why I don't support Calvin Garrett anymore. This is gonna be real fun. So before I talk about my opinion, I'm gonna make this clear, like I do in all of my commentary videos. Don't go and harass Calvin or his supporters. It's petty and childish. Just stop. It's basically just fighting fire with fire, so don't do it. So Calvin Garrett makes videos where he goes into TikTok or picks YouTube videos and roasts, or more like degrades other trans people, who some of which are freaking kids. Yep, it's that kind of video. I'll be adding more things he's done that kind of piss me off, but I'll save that for later. Okay, so he's made a new video and one of the people who was bullied in the video has come forward to clap back and discuss his side of the story. And honestly, I admire his bravery. Calvin Garrett's fans will eat you alive, and for him to speak up like that and be unafraid is awesome. I wish the best for you, and I hope you can continue to keep being yourself. So yeah, this helped me realize that the kind of videos he makes are pretty messed up. This dude is almost in his freaking 20s and is going around to degrade children on the internet. I mean, that's pretty low, and some of the things he says about trans people are pretty wrong too. It's funny how much of a hypocrite he is. He says that you could be feminine and be a trans man, yet he invalidates actual trans guys who are feminine and says things like, oh, you're FTM and wear a dress, you're not trans enough. Or you're FTM and don't bind, you're not trans enough. Bro, it's not up you to dictate if somebody's trans or not. You say you think non-binary is a valid gender and that you respect people's pronouns no matter what if they pass or not, but you don't do any of those things at all. You poke fun at non-binary people in your YouTube videos because they don't pass enough as androgynous and belittle their dysphoria. And you misgender binary trans people who don't pass enough. It really just goes to show that you don't care about others. It's like a homophobic person just saying that they don't hate gay people, they just don't support them and only love them to convert them. It makes very little sense. Also because of this, your bullying has caused somebody to attempt suicide, and just because the person they were dating came to post about it doesn't make it any less true. Nobody knows whether it was true or false, but that doesn't mean you automatically assume it's fake. You should assume it's fake And that's honestly disrespectful, and especially with being a lawyer and all, you should handle that stuff more seriously instead of being a jackass about it. And don't use the excuse, well, that's not my fault, it's their choice to do it. Just don't post anything on the internet if you don't want to get hate. Like, no, the fuck, that's not true, Kalvin. They posted on the internet to express themselves. You just decided to be a dick and bully them. That's the exact shit bullies say. Like, it's saying, oh, it's their fault for being bullied, they should just stop being weird. And that's a wrong message to send, because, like, bullying isn't okay, period. And yes, it was kind of your fault because you chose to bully them without their permission. It would be different if you were simply giving them criticism and not being rude about it, but no, you were degrading and making fun of them, and don't act like you weren't. So adding on to that, I'll be talking about one of his older videos. He talks about his experience in drama class with a transgender, and he says some pretty distasteful things about this person, basically gossiping about them and putting it on the internet for everybody to see. Like, it was a person who was super open about being pansexual and non-binary, and he basically went on a tangent about them, saying that they weren't valid enough because they were too open about their identity, and that they didn't pass enough and dressed too feminine, and even went far enough to say that they weren't even pansexual because they were too young, and he says, you don't know you are gay until you've been with the opposite sex. Yep, it's true. Kalvin is homophobic and transphobic at the same time. Like, how do you even have the audacity to say that to people? And it's super hypocritical that you, before you realized you were trans, had identified as a lesbian. And even just being a trans person, how come you don't understand how hurtful that is, having been that trans people aren't very accepted? It's like a gay person saying bi people don't exist and it's just a phase. And that, how do you even know if you're bi if you've never dated someone of the same sex? See, that's biphobic, and you're hypocritical because gay people experience the same thing. And people even tell them it's just a phase. So yeah, don't be like Kalvin. Though if somebody identifies as trans and you don't think that they pass enough to you, don't assume that just because they look that like they're faking it, and because they look like they're faking it. And be a decent person, respect their wishes, and refer to them as the way that they want to be referred. Just because a person dresses a certain way doesn't make their dysphoria any less valid. So yeah, I wish I could explain more things, but this vid is kind of getting long. So make sure to comment down below your opinion and make sure to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye, guys.